How we doing, everybody? It's another beautiful day here at the Cheese and Moon Workshop. I was putting together some stuff to take up to the knife show. You'll have to excuse the background noise here. I got birds chirping, air conditioners running, neighbors running pressure washers, but I think we can get through this just fine. I was putting together some stuff to take up to the knife show, and I wanted to try to show an example of some of this wood that I'm going to be taking up there. And I've been working on this hatchet project, and I wanted to do a review of this orange knife. So I'm going to kind of bundle them all up into one thing here. Now, so far I've done some whittling and carving on this piece of camphor, and I'm using this orange knife. And then when I'm done with this project, we'll just see if it still holds an edge or if I break it during the process. But let's see where we can go from here. Okay, so here we go. So my process for carving this, what I have to do, you can see the profile of this handle has this outer ridge and it's sort of concave in there. So I'm just carving a channel in here for that for this outer ridge to hang into. And normally I'd be doing this with my old timer, my tried and true, but I'm going to use this knife, like I said, to do a test on multiple things. This wood is often looked over by a lot of people. It's just good old camphor, and I don't know if the camera is picking up on that or not, but the grain on this is just all kind of squirrely and burly, and I think it's absolutely beautiful. But now that I got my woodworking terms, this is my plunge cut on straight down. That's a good test of this tip. Then once I get that, I'm hoping, I can't really see this because of the sun, then we'll come in here and just come in at an angle. And it's kind of a tip test because I'm prying this stuff out as I cut it. And it's also going to be a testament of the sharpness of this knife during and after, because I sort of plane it down in these little thin ribbons and snap them out. As you can see, it's pretty sharp. It's doing its job. Now I got an airplane flying over on its way to Orlando International Airport. Which back in the day used to be an Air Force base, McCoy Air Force Base. And the call sign for the airport is still MCO for McCoy. Again, I hope this is coming out on camera and you can somewhat see the technique of slicing and chopping that this knife is doing. And there's your infamous tip test. I think that is the silliest thing I see on knife reviews. People stabbing a knife into a piece of wood and bending it sideways. Now there may be applications where you might be chipping out a little something, but you would never, and I've even seen them baton it half an inch deep, and then why in the world would anybody do that? That just doesn't make any sense to me. It's completely impractical. I can't talk today. It's not something you would ever know. Now, this type of cut I'm making here, yeah, that's prying sideways on a blade, but I'm not half-inch deep in the wood. I'll say one thing for this little knife. It's lightweight and nice and sharp. Let me round these edges off a little bit here. And thumb out of the way. Now again, this is not the hardest wood there is. This is camphor. It's kind of like a hard pine. But look at that curl, boys and girls. Now let's see how she lays in here. If I cut this wood right, had it backwards, there we go. A little more refining to do on that, but I think that's going to be just fine. And yeah, I have router tools and the Dremel tools and other things that could probably whack that out of there in just a few minutes. But then it wouldn't be any fun for me. I mean, that's going to be just fine. Again, a little more refining. And that side's going to be good to go. We'll be able to get her clamped up and see if I can peel another one of those curls off of here. And I think I'll do most of the outer shaping of this little hatchet. I think I'm going to do that by hand too. I kind of like the way it looks. And then, as you can see here, it's going to cut pretty nice. And I can get my little fine shavings on, even across the end grain. This knife cuts pretty good. Let me get this other side cut out. I'm going to pause the video so it's not too long, and then we'll do another quick little test on the blade. Okay, so I need to shave the top of this down. This is the end grain, and which on this particular wood, end or otherwise, really doesn't matter because it's so burly. I mean, grain's not running straight this way or this way. It's very serpentine, almost like a burl wood. But I think this is going to be a pretty good testament of the edge of this blade, because I've done a pretty fair amount of carving. And I've already carried this for a week, cutting cardboard boxes, nylon strapping, rubber hoses, stripping wires, and it's held up pretty good so far. Yeah, still got a ways to go there. Slow him down a bit. I don't want to take off too much. Yep, just right. And I think that does it for that side. I hope this is in focus, folks, because the camera is kind of above eye level here, so I really can't see. But so that's one more side. Now this side of the wood, it's a mirror. You can see it's sort of that what they call book match or whatever. This side cut better than this side is. This side's giving me, it's a little tougher. I don't know if the blade's getting duller, which is a good possibility, or if it's just a grain structure and the direction I'm cutting this one. When you're doing this stuff, it's a constant reminder to keep your fingers out of the way. It may not always be the most comfortable position you put yourself in, but it's better than hacking into your finger off. We'll pause this before it gets too long. And now I just got to make those a little bit deeper and shape the handle. I think it's off to a pretty good start. I got to get up and see if I can see this on camera. If the outside of that knife or hatchet handle, see these little curls I'm shaving off of there, if the outside looks as good as that inside, it's going to be one pretty knife, or hatchet in this case. Sorry about that. Got to plane this inside edge down. Another benefit to using this camphor wood is kind of smells like eucalyptus, kind of smells like Vicks when you're carving on it, and even after you're done carving with it. Of course, that sort of goes away once you put a stain or some sort of sealer on it. Little dark spots right there. Lots of sap in them. They're a little bit tougher than the rest of it. I'll record some of this and I'll fast forward through some of this stuff. Give you an odd idea of what I'm putting this blade through, and then we'll test it at the end. In fact, let's do a little not quite midway test. See if we can find a spot here. Covered in sweat, so it's probably going to look pretty gross, but let's see if we can. Oh yeah, I don't know if the camera's picking that up, but that dang sure shave your arms. Even after all it's been through here, shaving and hacking away at this chunk of wood. That's pretty impressive. I just enjoy this type of stuff. This right here, what I'm doing right now, is where I fell in love with knives. Cub Scouts. It's like second grade of school, maybe third grade, something like that. I was handed a Cub Scout knife and a block of pine and told to make a car out of it. The Pine Wood Derby. And I fell so in love with it. My uncles gave me a coping saw, just a little saw I could cut curves with, and a little hand saw. And I was off to town, baby. I was making stuff, candle holders and boot jacks, all kinds of stuff out of wood as a kid. between my mother and my grandmother and all my uncles. They was in shop class at school, high school, when I was a little one, young kid, and they made all kinds of nice projects for my granny. So yeah, that's just about. That side's good. Got to work on this side just a little bit more. Well, here we are, guys, folks. Got it fitted on there. I think just a tiny bit more refining to do, but we got her sandwiched in there real nice. And yes, I did cut myself, just very minor. It was actually, knife got me there, wood got me there. And yes, you can cut yourself on the edge of the wood, but that's gonna be all for the whittling today. I'm gonna glue this, get it epoxied on there real good, and then I'm probably gonna drill a couple pins in it. Don't know. I probably will just put the pins in it for stability, for back and forth on it. It doesn't keep them from coming off, but it keeps them from going side to side, you know, when you're chopping or whatever. So, but there we go. I don't know. You see the fine little shavings here, and just real quick. Okay, guys, came in, bandaged up my finger. Nothing major, just a little pokey poke. Got the handles clamped up here with some epoxy in them, and somewhere here I got a piece of paper. And a little magazine page here, and we'll see if this Walmart Ozark Trail orange handle knife, see if it retained any kind of edge at all. It did cut hair off my arm during the hacking on this wood, but we'll just see if it'll, well, I am I'm somewhat impressed that after all, and that's heel to tip. So heel to, or whatever you want to call it, from the bottom to the top, it's still pretty dang spicy. So all in all, I'm kind of impressed with this little knife. I can't make any comparisons to Benchmade because I can't afford them. I am not a China knife snob. My daily carry favorite knife is a Chinese-made Kershaw that I've owned for years. But this little, I don't know, 1 inch, 1.5 inch, 2 inch, 3 inch, 4 inch, 5 inch, 6 inch, 7 inch, 8 inch, 9 inch, 10 inch, 11 inch, 12 inch, 13 inch, 14 inch, 15 inch, 16 inch, 17 inch, 18 inch, 19 inch, 20 inch, 21 inch, 22 inch, 23 inch, 24 inch, 25 inch, 26 inch, 27 inch, 28 inch, 29 inch, 30 inch, 31 inch, 32 inch, 33 inch, 34 inch, 35 inch, 36 inch, 37 inch, 38 inch, 39 inch, 40 inch, 41 inch, 42 inch, 43 inch, 44 inch, 45 inch, 46 inch, 47 inch, 48 inch, 49 inch, 50 inch, 51 inch, 52 inch, 53 inch, 54 inch, 55 inch, 56 inch, 57 inch, 58 inch, 59 inch, 60 inch, 61 This little knife is pretty nifty little knife. I'm not a thumb flick guy. I'll cut myself. Same with this flippy with the finger thing. My head just doesn't fit my hands that well. But you just pull that axis lock and flip it out there, and I'm good to go. Well, there you go. This will conclude this part of the video, which is kind of checking out this little knife and how well it carved and held up. The blade held up fantastic. As you can see, super slicey and still sharp. No, the blade's still well centered. I did a lot of prying on this thing. The tip is still straight. I mean, it's just not an issue with it. So there you go. All in all, kind of impressed. So until I see you all again, have a beautiful day. Please remember to like, subscribe, hit the notification bell. We'll pick up another video finalizing this handle. Y'all have a beautiful day.